first, from Minneapolis, Minnesota, weighing 217 pounds, Jerry Lynn. Washington, weighing 185 pounds, American Dragon, Bryan Danielson.
Show of respect between two tremendous wrestlers, former world champions, both the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson, a former Ring of Honor world champion, and the former ECW world heavyweight champion, Jerry Lynn, in a rematch from back in Philadelphia. A match that saw Bryan Danielson just barely get his shoulder off the canvas in the nick of time as both men's shoulders were down, and it was Bryan Danielson pulling out a very close victory against Jerry Lynn in that matchup.
All-Star Extravaganza 4. These two men, they have a lot of respect for one another. We've seen in the video wire, Bryan Danielson and Jerry Lynn say that they like to have scientific contests against one another just to test each other's skill. We're probably going to see the same thing here tonight in Edison that we saw in Philadelphia, and that is an exchange of hold for hold, move for move, the game of human chess.
Dragon being driven down to the canvas by Lynn, but a nice bridge there by Danielson to keep his shoulders off the canvas. Lynn trying to force down Danielson to the canvas, but Bryan still able to maintain the bridge. Great show of the neck strength right there and the tenacity of Bryan Danielson. Back to his feet, monkey flip, connects, and Danielson floats over, pinning combination, but it's Jerry Lynn with a counter into a roll-up of his own for a near fall. Both men back to their feet.
Either with a decided advantage here in the early going.
And taking their time as they circle one another, and it's Danielson instead going for a single leg, avoiding the lockup. Takes the veteran Jerry Lynn off of his feet. Paul Turner asking Jerry Lynn if he wants to give it up as Danielson continues to crank down on the ankle of Jerry Lynn here.
Even seeing these two men team up in tag team action back at Wrestling at the Gateway just outside of St. Louis.
great deal of respect between both Jerry Lynn and Bryan Danielson, two guys that both have a great love for the sport. And you see Bryan Danielson releasing the hold in a position he might normally jump up and down on the back of his opponent's knees to gain an advantage, but the respect that he has for Jerry Lynn, you didn't see him do it there. He's got a smile on his face as he broke the hold.
And he didn't wait until 4.5 before breaking the hold either.
We'll tie up. Waist lock by Bryan Danielson. Jerry Lynn looking for an escape. The wrist of Danielson, who continues to hang on to the waist lock. And trying to fight his way free here. Snapmare and takes Bryan off his feet. It's a 1 count. Danielson back to his feet. Snapmare of his own. Shoulders down. Lynn back to his feet. Snapmare by Jerry Lynn. Danielson down for a 1 count. Bridges right back up. Snapmare by Danielson. These two are so evenly matched. Neither been able to gain a clear-cut advantage as Lynn runs up the rope for the snapmare. Drop down, Danielson up and over. Deep arm drag by Lynn. And really cinches in the armbar.
I got a question, Lenny Leonard. Who's your pick? Who's going to come out with the victory here tonight between Jerry Lynn and Bryan Danielson?
Well, you know, Jerry Lynn obviously with the experience advantage over Bryan Danielson, but Bryan, you know, he's got the youth on his side, and I think the fact that he's already beaten Jerry Lynn might give him a bit of an edge in this matchup. I don't know, it's pick 'em really, if you ask me. These guys are very evenly matched. We've seen it in the first match between the two, and we're seeing it so far here in this matchup. Very, very difficult match to pick a winner in.
Oh, come on, pick one. I pick Bryan Danielson. And it's for the very same reason that you said. He's proven he can beat Jerry Lynn already, and he's got the youth on his side. Because Jerry Lynn, let's face it, he's at the end of his career. You know, his best days are way behind him. And he's hanging on to a career right now. And Bryan Danielson's at the prime of his career. And that's why I believe Bryan Danielson will pull out the win once again. Perhaps, you know, that small package, perhaps cattle mutilation. There's many ways that Bryan Danielson has been able to earn victories. I just think that Jerry Lynn doesn't have it.
I wouldn't say that Jerry Lynn doesn't have it, and I think if you objectively look at the body of work that Jerry Lynn has put together since becoming a member of Ring of Honor's roster, he has more than shown that he still has it. Has he won every match he's been in the ring since coming to Ring of Honor? And no, of course not, he hasn't. But he has more than held his own in each one of those matchups, and every one of those matches that he in fact did lose, I think you could make a case that there were more than just a few moments in that match where Jerry Lynn was very close to winning those matchups. And it was one move, maybe here or there, or one loaded elbow pad on the part of Chris Hero that may have cost him those matches. So to sit there and say that Jerry Lynn doesn't have it anymore and he can't compete at a high level and he isn't as good as the top guys here in Ring of Honor, I think that's a complete misrepresentation of the facts.
Are you saying that Nigel McGuinness is wrong then? Because he says the very same thing that I just said about Jerry Lynn, that he should call it quits.
Yes, I'm saying that Nigel McGuinness is wrong and Jerry Lynn shouldn't call it quits.
I'm telling you, you said that.
Be my guest. I'll be more than happy to tell him that I don't agree with him.
Because look at him. He's going to give it up right here. Look at the pain on his face as a result of Danielson just stretching him.
Each time that Jerry Lynn enters the ring, there's a possibility that he could beat anyone who stands across the ring from him. You know, and I'll dare to say it, Nigel McGuinness included.
That's a good one, Lenny. Bryan Danielson back to his feet. Jerry can't even stand up.
When I look at Jerry Lynn, the first thing that pops into my mind when I think about his skills and whether or not they've diminished to the point where he can still be competitive, I think about a song that came out a couple of years ago. But Jerry Lynn may not be as good as he once was, but he's as good once as he ever was. So
what?
Anytime
you're talking in circles, Lenny. That doesn't make any sense.
Sure it does. On any given night, you know what? Maybe Jerry Lynn isn't as good as he used to be, but on any given night, he can be as good as he was. It just depends if that's his night in question, and it could be maybe against Nigel McGuinness down the line.
His night was in, say, 1998 in ECW.
1998 was a very good year for Jerry Lynn.
The real ECW. Back when it was legitimately extreme. Anyway, Snapmare brings Danielson down to the canvas. Does drive down with the knee. I mean, he gives a good effort, Jerry Lynn. I do not take away from his accomplishments, and they are many. He's a world-traveled wrestler, has competed throughout the globe, and won many championships throughout the wrestling industry. I don't know, Bryan Danielson is a former ROH world champion. Nigel McGuinness currently the world champion. I just think both of them are just a notch better than Jerry Lynn.
And I'm not disputing that fact either, but what I am saying is Jerry Lynn is still talented enough, a wrestler. He is still good enough of an athlete, as you see right there with the spinning head scissors, that if a wrestler takes him for granted, if they dismiss him as old and over the hill, that they could very easily find themselves counting the lights against the Jerry Lynn in the course of their matchup. You can't dismiss the ability of Jerry Lynn. It is still there. It may not be at a high level at all times during the course of the matchup, but in flashes, in spots, in moments in those matchups, he is still as good as he ever was, and when he was that good, he was as good as anyone ever was.
Danielson elevates him up and over. Catches Jerry Lynn. Danielson just one step ahead. He's that much quicker.
And that's exactly right. The youth and the speed of Bryan Danielson coming into play right there. He was able to see just a split second sooner than Jerry Lynn probably wanted him to what Jerry was attempting, and he had a counter because of it. And there are some nights that Jerry's going to be able to overcome those physical deficiencies, and some nights where he's not going to.
And tonight's one of those nights he's not going to, because Bryan Danielson just came charging off the apron, delivered that knee, and sent Jerry Lynn crashing down to the floor. And with every year of extra experience he might have, he's got a lot of knowledge of professional wrestling due to being a veteran. That's one thing that Jerry Lynn does have on his side. But with every year, it takes just that much more energy to try to pull yourself back up after you get knocked down. And get knocked down he will. The missile drop kick from American Dragon.
Nips up right back to his feet. Danielson looking perhaps to finish off Jerry Lynn here. Running knee strike right to the chest. Cover. But only able to get two. Once again, Lynn able to dig down, get the shoulder off the canvas, and smartly rolling underneath the bottom rope, trying to buy a little bit of time here. Create some distance between himself and the American Dragon.
I said it back in Philadelphia, I'll say it again. Jerry Lynn does have that advantage of the ring knowledge, the being a veteran of the mat wars. He may have better strategy than a Bryan Danielson does, but when it comes right down to it, Danielson physically has the gift of youth on his side.
Block of the attempt by Danielson, who ends up going face first to the turnbuckle, and Lynn this time connects with a shoulder block. Knee lift. Almost lost his footing right there, did Jerry Lynn, but able to connect with the knee lift the second time, and then the leg drop right down across the back of the head sends Danielson crashing out to the floor here. And Jerry Lynn back inside the ring as Paul Turner administers the count to Bryan Danielson.
This is giving Bryan some time to shake off the effects of that leg drop and those knee strikes. You better watch out!
Danielson saw him coming. But can't avoid him that time. Senton off the apron by Jerry Lynn. And the veteran puts his body on the line to take a chance here in this all-important matchup against Bryan Danielson. Pitches Bryan back under the bottom rope, and Lynn quickly to the apron. Looking to make his way to the top rope and take a chance.
Will two chances in a row pay off for Lynn?
A high-risk maneuver here from Lynn. Crossbody. Only two, didn't hook the leg. And Danielson able to kick out just in time, but more punishment dished out by Jerry Lynn. Forearm in the corner. Irish whip reversed. Lynn hits the buckles. Danielson charges, runs into the boot of Jerry Lynn, who quickly mounts the second turnbuckle, traps the head. Tornado DDT blocked by Danielson. Lynn on a knee, running knee strike, avoided. Right into the half crab. What a counter by Jerry Lynn.
Well, Danielson made the error right there of going for the same move twice in the matchup. It worked the first time. This time, Jerry Lynn had it scouted and was able to block the attempt and grab hold of the leg.
And that's the sign of a true veteran of the ring right there. You learn your opponent's tendencies and you use them to your advantage. I think he suckered Danielson in and made the counter to the half crab, and Bryan Danielson might have to tap right here.
Oh, he's got the ropes.
Danielson just dragging his body with Jerry Lynn on his back all the way to the ropes to force the break, but the damage done to the right leg of Bryan Danielson, and he has had some damage done to that knee. Triangle choke!
Oh, this could be it right here. He's got it in the middle of the ring, too. Jerry Lynn nowhere near the ropes. Elbows from this position.
Elbow strikes to the top of the head by Bryan Danielson, and Jerry Lynn is starting to fade here.
Ask him. Come on, Lynn. Tap!
Well, as great a scientific wrestler as Jerry Lynn is, and he can put up a great fight against American Dragon, he lost that first match, and he's going to lose again here tonight.
Gets his foot across the bottom rope, however, and able to withstand the triangle choke from Danielson, who does, in fact, have until 5.
As the match goes on, I like seeing something like that. Bryan Danielson knows that he needs to pull out a win here. And he got more aggressive. Early in the match, he released the hold as soon as Jerry grabbed that bottom rope. Now he knows that, Jerry Lynn's going to do whatever it takes to try to pull out a win and even the score with Danielson. So this time he waited till 4.5.
Danielson's got the arms trapped, perhaps looking for the chicken wing, but a nice counter right there by Lynn into the hip toss. Off the ropes goes Jerry. Hip toss attempt blocked. Powerbomb! Only 2. That's the 3rd or 4th time that Jerry Lynn has been able to come up with a quick counter to an offensive move attempted by Bryan Danielson and get himself a near fall.
But only 2, that's the key. I don't think he can put Danielson away.
Cradle pile driver? Blocked. Forearm from Dragon. Lynn fires back to the midsection. Cradle pile driver. No. Again, Danielson blocks. Back body drop into the corner goes Dragon. As Lynn back to his feet charges. Runs into the boot. Jerry Lynn staggers out of the corner trying to shake the cobwebs. Running knee strike again from Danielson.
Oh, he's signaling this is over. Tiger suplex for the bridge.
Can't hold him down. Got the arms trapped. Elbows. Repeated elbows from Bryan Danielson trying to knock out Jerry Lynn.
Turner maybe should step in here. Not stopping the match shot.
Cow mutilation.
Oh, this is it for Jerry Lynn.
Jerry Lynn trapped right in the center of the ring one more time. Danielson hanging onto the bridge. Lynn trying to alleviate some of the pressure, gets to his knees, but needs to fight his way out of this position.
Or just tap the match away.
Come on, Jerry.
Well, the longer he stays locked in this hold, the greater that possibility becomes.
Come on, Lynn.
Danielson still has it locked in the center. Lynn to a seated position, trying to escape, but right back into the elbows. Repeated elbows from Danielson, but Lynn able to roll to the ropes and get the break. But more damage done, courtesy of the elbow of the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson.
Just a matter of time for Jerry Lynn. Danielson's going to put him away.
A very determined look on the face of Danielson as Lynn slow to his feet.
Perhaps the superplex, belly to back style from Dragon.
Places Lynn on the top turnbuckle and up to the second goes Dragon, make it all the way to the top. Oh, elbow!
I like it.
More elbows from Dragon, trying to soften up Lynn. Connects with a couple of elbows himself, but hung up in the trio woes, Jerry Lynn. Danielson with momentum. Drop kick.
More aggression shown by Danielson.
Nowhere for Lynn to go, still hanging in the corner here.
Maybe now it's time for the superplex.
Soften him up just a little bit more before climbing the turnbuckles. But again, Jerry Lynn trying to fight.
Where's he getting this energy from?
Sunset bomb.
Danielson's holding on.
Trying to block. Unable to take Danielson off. Now he does. Roll up by Danielson. Triangle choke.
This is it. This is it.
Jerry Lynn might have to give it up here. Danielson's got it locked in. Needs to watch his own shoulders, however, here. Lynn able to escape. Off the ropes. Tornado DDT. Clothesline. Turn Danielson inside out. Cradle pile driver? No. Nails it.
Kick out, Bryan. Kick out.
He got him.
Here is your winner, Jerry Lynn!
Wow. I did not see that one coming, Lenny. Jerry Lynn just
Dragon. Well, if Jerry Lynn was looking for proof that he still had it, I don't think he needs to look any further than a tape of this matchup. He just pinned a former world champ right in the center of the ring, and Bryan Danielson, Jerry Lynn is your winner.